So I'd like to welcome all of you to Tailgate Beers here with Ryan and Austin and Ryan. We have another Austin Williams with us today.
Going down, baby, your street in a Range Rover street sweeper, baby, cock ready to let it go. Shimmy, coke on wood, listen to the plan. Light it up and take a puff, pass it to me now, I got that wood grain.
Super excited to have him. Super excited to hear you tonight and watch you up on the cruising stage. First time?
First time. Yeah, it's the first one for me.
First time in Peoria, Illinois?
Yes, it actually is. I've been passed through Illinois, but I've never really spent a lot of time here.
Let's just go ahead and get into it. So you're a Tennessee boy.
Yeah, born and raised, yeah. Okay. Don't get more Nashville.
Yeah.
Other than the inner city guys, I guess.
For sure, yeah.
So you've been around songwriters all of your life.
Pretty much all my life.
And what was that like? How was that engagement? How was that relationship building to be a songwriter, especially?
I didn't really think a lot into it. So like I grew up playing baseball. And so like, some of the kids I'd play baseball with, and then even into high school, some of the guys I would play with, their dads, it's why they were here. Their dads have moved from Oklahoma or Texas or somewhere like that to write songs.
So for us, where people are like, hey, you're from Caterpillar, because we have Caterpillar in the area. A lot of people, their parents all work for Cat.
Yeah.
So yours were, hey, man, my dad's here writing music.
He's a songwriter. And it became just that's cool. Like kind of a thing. And my mom's godfather, he wrote the song Ramblin' Man for Waylon Jennings.
Wow.
And then he had some cuts on Willie Nelson, Johnny Paycheck, and he produced Farron Young and Ray Price and Gene Watson and owned a label in town. But like I didn't grow up thinking anything about it. I grew up watching Merle Haggard a lot. Somewhere in my dad's family, there's a guy named Albert Brumley, and he was in California, and he met this kid out of jail, and the kid was Merle Haggard, and he let him open up for him, and
wow.
Merle ended up being the thing, and I guess divorce happened, and instead of alimony, we got Merle Haggard tickets. So I grew up, that was just kind of normal.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really any different, it's just kind of all I knew. And then when I got into the business, it made it a lot easier because I had a guideline. I had like this, what to prioritize and what not to prioritize. My mom's godfather, he passed away right before I started the journey, but I remember hearing him as a kid say, great songwriters live forever and great singers are short-lived. Mm-hmm. And so like I knew that kind of going into it, prioritize being a songwriter first, and like if the singing thing doesn't work out, you can still have a job in town. And just different when it comes to deals and all of that. Like I had kind of a guideline that not a lot of people had.
What was a song? I mean, have you had a song that you've wrote on or been a part of? What's your biggest song you've been a part of writing?
So my favorite cut that I ever had was I had a song with Chase Matthews' album.
Okay.
And which he's been a brother to me since I started.
Chase is a great dude.
He's one of my best friends. So that one was cool, getting to write that song with him and cut it.
What song was that?
It's called Moonlight.
Okay.
And then my favorite cut, I don't know if I'm even supposed to say it, but I'll say it. So there's like, I love old country music. And I'm a big fan of like the 60s and 70s stuff. And the band Asleep at the Wheel is cutting a song as of now, cutting a song that I was a part of writing with Bill Anderson.
Wow.
So like that was
beyond exciting.
That was a kind of cool moment. Like, is the song going to go to radio or anything? Like maybe not, but like it's kind of I got to be a part of that. I get when that legacy's told one day, I can say.
How did that come about? Of you we were involved in that.
I was a huge fan of Bill Anderson. Just growing up, a fan of 60s country, like whispering Bill Anderson, and I had a friend, and I was singing one of the songs he wrote. My friend, a good friend of mine, right, was Bobby Tomlin, who wrote the song "One More Day" for Diamond Rio. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Man," he said, "Bill's one of my best friends." He said, "Why don't we all write together one day?" And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the few times I ever just fanboyed in a room. But we wrote a song. It was a really cool song, and then they called and was like, "Hey, I think Ray Benson's gonna cut the song." So I was like, "Yeah." So I'm kind of pumped about it.
Yeah.
So going back to your songwriting and learning that from an early childhood, seeing that as you're growing up, what is your, just as you said, right? The songwriter's gonna stick around for a long time. I mean, what is your, and not to give any away secret sauce, but what are you thinking about? What goes through your mind when you sit down and think about a situation that you want to write a song about?
Man, just pour your heart into it. It's kind of like, there's not really like a process. Mm-hmm. It's kind of You know, I'm a huge believer, and I say this as I talk about faith a lot. And I'm a big believer songs are kind of given and they're not really written. You know, they kind of just fall out. You know, in a lot of days you have to work for a song and you have to find it, but like not everybody can just write a song.
Yeah.
You know, so there's not really a set process. It happens different every room. Yeah. You know, I've had rooms where we had nothing to write about and we sit and just talked about life and the song kind of fell out of it. So yeah, it's a lot different every time. There's not really a set standard way. Just kind of, you know, somehow get yourself in line with the song and just kind of get yourself in that place and just kind of pour your heart into it.
And you're how old?
I'm 20.
Okay, and so you've been doing music now for
about 3 years, I would say.
So pretty much straight out of high school.
Yeah, I was going to play college baseball, and then decided that was a dead end dream because I was too small.
5'9".
Yeah, not the.
Altuve is what I mean. He's
yeah. Well, I was looking at it like, you know,
it's not in your favor.
Yeah, and then being undersized, it's really not. And I was going to go sit the bench in college for a few years, maybe play my senior year or something like that.
Happens to all of us.
Get a degree that I probably wasn't going to use. So I was like, so I might as well just cut out the middleman and go for this kind of music thing.
So you bypassed college.
Yeah,
altogether.
Thankful to Chase Matthew. He kind of got me out of college.
So I want to go to Chase Matthew next and talk about. So he's a mentor of yours.
Big mentor. He's kind of been in my corner since. He was kind of one of the first guys to believe in me.
And talk about that relationship and how that started, or how you met Chase.
So when I first got into music, I didn't really know I didn't really know how to, as many people as I knew a bunch of songwriters. I didn't know a bunch of artists. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really know how to get into the artist thing. I was like, I'm just going to sing for whoever will listen. So there was this little bar had karaoke on Wednesday nights. So I'd go every Wednesday and sing karaoke and sing my songs. And finally they let me come in there and play a little cover gig at some point. And Chase, from the way I've heard him tell it, is he was sitting in the grill part of the bar and grill eating, and heard me singing. It was like, man, that kid's kind of good. And then right after County Line record come out, he played a hometown show, and he DM'd me on Instagram to open up for him.
Wow.
And ever since then, we've just kind of hit it off. Great
dude. He's played the festival 2 or 3 times. I mean, he's played in Taylorville. He's played Bloomington. He's played over in Iowa, and he's played here multiple times. He did back-to-back sold out shows.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What a live show.
Oh yeah, he does that water bottle deal.
Yeah.
Where he gets all the water bottles up there, and everybody has their drinks. And next thing you know, I've got some crazy footage from the last time he was here of just water going everywhere. But yeah, he's a performer. He's a
great performer. I mean, amazing performer.
I think at one of them he brought out squirt guns on stage at one of the festivals.
I
and
could
they were
see
all
it.
Shooting them, and yeah, he has a fun time.
Yeah, I learn a lot from watching him. The way he gets the crowd involved in the show and makes them one with the show. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like they sit there and it's feels like not like you're watching a show. It feels like you're a part of the show.
Right.
And you leave man, kind of connected to the music after that.
Right. But even back to what you said, his dream, I mean, I have no college degree.
Yeah.
You know, and to be in this industry and you don't think of it that, what you give up by not going to college or going to college, and, everybody's path is different, but watching Chase too, what he came from to where he's at now. And again, where he still can go is pretty impressive. And that's pretty cool to have that as a mentor.
He turned nothing into something.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a testament to his hard work and hard work in general.
Right. But you watch guys in music too, that they stay together at a younger age, where all it happened was you open for him one day.
Yeah.
And then who knows wherever he ends up at or where you end up at.
Sure.
And next thing you know, you're like, man, why are these 3 always on a tour together?
Yep.
Oh wow. Because they've been homies since day one.
Since the beginning. Yeah, for sure.
Cubs fan?
Big Cubs fan.
Big Cubs fan.
Why the Cubs?
Big Cubs fan.
So I had
why the Cubs?
So my great grandfather. Are you a Sox fan?
I'm a Cardinals fan.
So
better
here,
than being a Sox fan.
Austin here. So you get about 50% Cubs.
Because we're 2.5 hours from Chicago. We're 2.5 hours from St.
Cardinals.
Louis.
I got you.
So it's very divided.
Small White Sox.
There's not many of those in general. There's just not many of those.
There was talks of the White Sox going to Nashville. I don't know if you ever heard that. They met with Nashville to move the White Sox to Nashville.
And
would you become a Sox fan?
No, and that's the problem. No, I would probably go to some games, but no, I just probably at that point I just go to the Sounds games.
I said it would have been like the Vegas deal because, dude, you look at Nashville. Nashville, I've called as like the Midwest Vegas.
Yeah.
You literally get a rotation of all walks of life, people from all over, constantly coming through there. So whatever team is there, you would have had on any given day any amount of baseball fans that are like, let's go to a Nashville. I kind of wanted it to happen because I do actually feel bad for the Sox. Just kind of lingering up there with.
I think it's great for him. I love it.
I love it. So you said your grandfather, great grandfather.
So my great grandparents had a huge influence in my life, and my parents were young when they had me. So like, I grew up with pretty much all of my great grandparents. So one was a giant Braves fan, and one was a Cubs fan, and so I just kind of was like, the Cubs are my team because everybody else back home cheers for the Braves, and I can't be everybody else. So
you and I have like the same story. So my great grandparents were a huge influence in my life. I lost both my grandfathers really young, and my great grandparents were massive Cubs fans, Democrats and Cubs fans. They were diehard on both. My grandmother on my mom's side was from Missouri, diehard Cardinals fan. And for whatever reason, I went the other way.
Yeah.
But every single time we went to a Cub Cardinals game, we always sat behind the away dugout. And I had Sammy Sosa's autograph, Sammy Sosa's jersey, articles like Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, like signed stuff.
That's cool.
I would literally just come back and give it to my great-grandparents. Balls with Mark Grace's autograph, all these people just giving it to them because I'm like, I don't know. I wanted them to be happy, but I wasn't, I've never been anti-Cubs necessarily. I've just been, always a Cardinals fan. But it's funny how they can have an influence on you like that.
For sure. No, mine played definitely a huge influence like everything I do.
Yeah.
Because, my parents had me at 20, which isn't like crazy young. But so like, and my grandparents wasn't retired. So I just stayed at my great-grandparents' house like in the summers, like weeks at a time, and I just like, I would kind of go to the farm with them, or we would go to the creek, or we would watch baseball, or we would watch the race. I mean, I just kind of old Western movies.
So do you make it a point to go to, have you gone to any Wrigley games?
I've never been to Wrigley.
You've never been
I
to
have
Wrigley?
been
What
to,
if your first time Wrigley is like playing Wrigley?
I want to throw the first pitch at Wrigley. It's like big goal.
There you go.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, it's kind of my big goal is throw the first pitch at Wrigley. And I want to take BP at Wrigley, and my dad throw it to me. That's like my
there you go
goal,
dude. That would be. I can't imagine being able to even just have that experience of like being able to be to a certain point in your life where Chicago Cubs are calling you up saying, "Hey, let's throw out the first pitch.
Let's throw the first pitch," and then that would be
name on the back of the jersey, the whole 9 yards. So you've never even been.
I've been to like one major league stadium.
Really? And a big baseball guy.
Big baseball guy. Well, we got the sounds, and I've always loved minor league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would so much rather go to a minor league baseball game.
College.
I've been to one college
electric.
baseball game ever. And I live like 30 minutes from Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never been a huge watch baseball guy.
Really? I love listening to baseball on the radio. Yeah. I do. I
like
in the background, in the garage, whatever you're doing, working on your computer. I do love the sound because that's the old broadcasting of that. What do they call it? Like color commentating of being able to paint that picture of what's happening on the field.
Oh, and baseball announcers are so great at it.
Yeah.
And so baseball on the radio is good. I don't know. I've always been a guy that I put the baseball game on the TV, and then kind of do whatever and just kind of listen to it on the TV.
Yeah. Wrigley's an experience, though. I mean, Wrigley Field is, that's a historic place. Great time to go. I remember I went up to White Sox Cubs Crosstown Classic. It was like 1-0, 105 degrees. Brutal game. End score was like 1-0. Just so hot.
17th stretch. I'd have found my way to the car. I'd have beat the crowd.
Yeah. Which, if you're not a drinker or if you're into it, but the one thing I would say about the Cardinals that's nice is growing up a Cardinals fan, you can go from this bar and walk across the street, down the street to wherever, beer in hand.
Okay.
Chicago, got to throw it out.
Yeah.
You cannot leave the bar because in Illinois, you can't be walking out down the street. In Missouri, you can walk anywhere you want with a drink in your hand. So that's a pro.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a big Cubs fan.
My whole family is Cubs fans, and we watch games almost every day. I usually have the Cubs games on. Last night they threw the combined no-hitter. They're trying to get up there this year. They're struggling. We got a little bit of hole to dig out.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's just, I think at this point, it's just, we just kind of learned the feeling of being a Cubs fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We just kinda
always
know.
next year.
Yeah.
Always next year.
It's like being a fan of the Tennessee Vols, Except now it's paying off. But
Right. So what else in your downtime, or what in your life, like right now when you're not on the road? Because I know you guys got the U-Haul, trailer out there. You're driving on the road. It's not like you're in some tour bus or something like that. What's you're grinding right now? You're probably doing everything you can. What is something you do outside of music that you absolutely love?
I'm a big outdoorsman.
Like hiking, hunting,
fishing.
All of it.
I love the kind of peaceful aspect of being in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's sitting in a deer stand and there's nothing else, you hear nothing else but the birds and the squirrel that sounds like a grizzly bear running through the woods.
They sound
is that
like
a deer?
They sound like a full blown herd coming.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
You look
comes
over,
a deer, and
it's
it's
one
just a
little
squirrel.
So are you
Must be a buck.
Yeah,
judging by maybe your hat? You're a bigger duck hunter than deer hunter. Or
I love to duck hunt.
Is that what you grew up as a young age doing?
I got into it when I was probably 7 or 8.
Okay.
Me and my dad had a friend that duck hunted, and so he took me on his first duck hunt when I was like 6 or 7, somewhere right in there, and ever since then I've been hooked. So yeah, duck hunting, turkey hunting, and then I grew up, rabbits, squirrels, raccoons, anything we could.
All of it.
All of it. Anytime we could be in the woods, we were gonna.
I think I know the answer, but what's like the favorite cooking as far as hunting goes? What are you cooking up as far as a recipe?
I would say probably the backstrap of a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It probably doesn't get much better.
No. I knew guys I used to work with that would see a fresh deer on the road. They're literally getting out and they're they're cutting that off.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but
no, but seriously, these guys were the type that were like, dude, that thing just got hit. Ma'am, are you okay? All this stuff, this thing just happened. I know a guy. It's like he's cutting it up right there.
Frying it up.
However you can eat.
Yeah.
Go eat.
I wasn't on that level, but
but
duck
I do.
hunting, we both duck hunt and we love it. And what areas down there are you going to?
So like at home we don't have ducks really. You get your local wood ducks that you kind of kill early in the year. Then you get one good weekend a year at home. But I grew up. We had a lease in Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Like Sykeston area.
How far of a drive is that?
About 3.5 hours,
Okay,
4
not bad.
hours.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. But we kind of grew up going up there every year and spending a lot of time in a rice field.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I got hooked at an early age and it's just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So and that's the cool thing about is music. It's kind of getting to go on some hunts and building relationships within the hunting industry and
That's what it's about.
yeah, try to put your foot into that hunting industry.
Have you met anybody or gotten to go on a hunt with another songwriter or artist that because I know like Langston.
Mm-hmm.
Langston's got his property of hunting.
I've
and there's
actually
several of them
never. I've never been hunting with another artist.
Really?
I'm so me being 20, everybody kind of hangs out and stuff like that, and I don't ever hang out. I'm kind of the young kid.
This podcast, even in Tailgate Beers, is something that, I'm calling it Tailgate Beers, but if you sat in a duck blind and the conversations that you have,
Oh my goodness,
about religion,
Yeah.
politics. I started hunting with a guy that was 72 and had floaters in his eyes. And I'm like, and he talks super loud, was super loud because he has bad hearing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, done. I'm like, shut up. They're literally right here. What's crazy is the dude had such bad floaters, he switched from being right-handed to a left-handed shooter, could still hit 90 out of 100 clays, and would be the first one to pull up and hit all 3 of his shots. But he's got floaters and stuff and is talking loud as hell. But when it's ready to shoot, he's popping
He's
up.
there.
And then he's back down. And boy, guys, did you guys see that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then he's back on and talking about, again, just we'd have these moments where it's dead. And, we're talking, your faith, family, religion.
Man. So
What do you think
many
about
things.
politics? Just everything.
So many things talked about in a duck blind.
So many. And that's why I relate this to.
in the turkey woods, just kind of like, I mean, my story about getting saved, I mean, happened turkey hunting, you know, and it's just like the outdoors, and it's like, I don't know, there's so much peace, you know. I think that's kind of the big word that I always bring back to, is just peace.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a separation from music, you know. We, especially in this industry, we hear so much sound every day, and it's always loud. I mean, this show tonight's going to be loud, and it's so nice to just separate from that and just kind of, you know, focus on you for a little bit, and just kind of, you know, want you and God out there, you know. Absolutely. Just kind of bringing it back down and just kind of finding peace in the silence. You know, a lot of people, it's you're either scared of the silence or you find peace in silence. And when you can find peace in silence, it's just, you know, it's its own thing.
There's even something of like one of the places I used to go hunt. I mean, you know, these phones nowadays, I mean, it is a safety thing of like being able to get a hold of somebody. Something were to happen to you, something like that. But, you know, you get bored, and what do? You scroll.
Every time.
You know, you get on one of the spots I had. One of the things I loved about it, I mean, I had no cell service.
That's the best.
Zero. So at the end of the day, what's crazy is I ended up I always took my phone for like pictures and stuff. However, it got to a point where even if I forgot it, it's like, thank God.
Great.
Great.
I have one spot like that. It's like close to a dam. We have like 1,800 acres of river bottoms that kind of butt up to the dam. So,
Hear the water running.
oh, that, and the barge is barging through.
Oh,
and
there you go.
phone does not work at all. It's great.
So Austin and we told you before we started the podcast, so we're both dads and coach baseball together, and we've been out there with our sons and actually my younger daughter too, just out there in a duck blind, goose pit, you know, just out there hunting, and they love it. They love it. So that's something certainly that we enjoy and get the solstice out of as well. Let's go to music. Let's go to music. So somebody goes to an Austin Williams concert for the first time, right? You're playing at Cruisin's, Peoria, Illinois, Central Illinois. What can they expect when they show up and see you?
They can expect a lot of me just being me. You know, every night on stage, my goal is just to be myself and allow somebody to either, you know, enjoy me being me, with social media being a big thing, you know, that we just like kind of, you know, your personality shows every day. And a big thing that I try to preach a lot is like, you know, people are going to fall in love with you for you, or if you put in on an act on stage, you know, you kind of got this persona on stage, you know.
Do you feel like that's a pull that you've had to fight at times of the persona? Because I've seen it, I've witnessed it. On all of us deal with it. All of us deal with it in life in general.
Yeah,
but I do feel like when you're on stage, whether it's an act or however it is, I mean, I don't know if you've felt like a battle of like, man, I just want to be me, but I feel like I get pulled.
I haven't, but I know a lot of guys that have, just because I've always went into, people are going to fall in love with you, and they're either going to fall in this, you know, this applies to relationships or anything, but people are going to fall in love with you, and you can only keep up an act for so long. Or you got to become the act, one of the two. And if you can make people fall in love with you for you, you'll always just be you. And you can always just be yourself. And it's kind of a really cool thing, just getting to walk around and be me every day, and, you know, like it. And the people that don't like you for you will weed out of your life, and that's perfect. It's exactly what you want. So yeah, every night I go up there and I be me on stage, and I'm going to talk about things that I believe in on stage. And you know, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. Yeah. But you know, we have a lot of energy, and we just have a good time. You know, if I can step on stage and make everybody in the room forget about, you know, the problems going on outside of that room, I did my job.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's the other part, is when people show up, I'll be the first one to say too, you know, we book all these you know, bands here, we do the festival. I did not know you until we booked you.
Yeah.
Personally, and I listen to a lot of music.
For sure.
Okay, not saying I hadn't heard a song here or there, but, you know, Wayne hears some, I'll hear some. You know, we get them from different people.
Yeah.
Wayne will book them. Agents will pitch, you know, different things to us, or however it happens. But I don't know. The thing I love the most as a fan side of it is when I show up and I don't know what to expect.
Exactly.
I don't know what I've got coming, and then you leave a fan. You know, I told the story a while back of just going to different concerts for one artist. But like, who is this opener? Who is this other person I just heard? And
For
you're
sure.
like, this is like my new favorite band ever.
For sure. And that's
The best feeling on a fan side. And again, I know you just don't feel it on the artist side as much.
I love the feeling of like when we're playing for a bunch of people who don't know who we are. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a chance to talk to somebody that you've never got to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, and here, you know, at the end you play a song that maybe they connect with mid-show, and you have a lot of people that listen to the songs and they connect with it through their car or something, but it's something else to watch them connect with it in front of you.
Oh, for sure.
And you know, and that's kind of goes back to like the kind of my pat on my back to myself as a songwriter. You know, is you know, you watch them connect with the song right in front of you. Watch that they just put the dots together and how that applied to their life, and you're like, that's why it's all worth it.
Yeah.
That's why traveling in the Yukon in a U-Haul trailer is worth it.
What has been your favorite like venue or like I don't know if you've been on a festival venue? What's the most memorable where like, dude, this is the forever and ever, like I won't forget this?
Myrtle Beach House of Blues. Hands down. I opened up for Kid G. He sold it out. I think there was like an hour line at the merch booth after the show. That one was fun.
Wow.
That one was definitely fun. I'm guessing that this one's going to join that category tonight for the sole fact of it is the first headline show of the first ever headline tour.
Tonight is?
Tonight.
I did not even know that fact.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
Hell yeah, dude.
Tonight is we've played one other headline show ever in Iowa.
I fucking love that for you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So yeah, this
great.
is the first headline show, the first ever headline tour.
Will you meet? You don't have a meet and greet tonight.
I'm going to do one after
At the merch?
at the merch booth.
I
I
love
do
that.
Yeah, they love that.
Yeah, I try to meet every. You know, it finally becomes a point where you can't meet everybody for free,
Yeah.
just because of time. You know, time limits. But until that time comes, I'm going to shake every single hand in the building if I can.
Dude, it means so much to people.
Absolutely.
And it's, again, we all live a different life where you don't know what other people are going through. But I think in a music side of thing, it is crazy. It is creepy and crazy all at the same time. But it's nuts how
powerful.
much it means to some people. And that, like, it held on. Like, it made them hold on when they
Yeah.
couldn't hold on anymore. It got them through a tough time.
Well-
and again, I'm somebody who loves music so much that there's albums that I know were a certain period of my life that it means a lot.
That album was put in your life for a reason. And you know, that's kind of like I said this when I played the Opry for the first time, and I mean, when it comes to music, you know, most musicians, they eat, sleep, and breathe music because they love music. And to be honest, music was never my dream. And I could honestly, I love music and I love writing
What was
music.
your dream?
I wanted to be a baseball player. That's all I wanted. I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to play college baseball. I wanted to get a business degree, come back, either sell insurance, or I wanted to be a high school gym teacher and coach high school baseball.
Okay.
That was my aspiration in life.
Wow.
And that took a 180. And so music is like, I love it, but it's not. I could take or leave music. It's what music does to people, and playing a part in somebody's story and having a chance to kind of shine some light on somebody's day. That's what I love. And like, I could sit music down tomorrow and find another way to do that, but it's kind of been laid out for this to be my way to do that. You
Absolutely.
know, so that's kind of the part that I cling on to, and I absolutely like adore is being to come out here every night and talk to somebody after the show, and they're saying, "Hey man, I'm going through something," and you can sit and talk to them, and you know, just kind of share your own story with them and just let them know that maybe they're not the only one going through that situation. And so that's kind of my cling on when it comes to music. It's not really the song. So I think, you know, that's scary because music's so powerful. It can make somebody feel the wrong way that you don't want somebody to feel.
Right.
But it's kind of just, you know, that's my love.
So what's your favorite song that you've written? One that you love playing on stage, love playing live, that your favorite one?
I'm going to say the Wanna Be Saved record.
I'm headed south down a northbound highway. Won't make it out of this life living my way.
It's probably the most meaningful for me. And it's my story.
Yeah.
And I was going through a lot. And so it was my story. And I've watched it connect with so many people, and it was a testament to I said no to the song coming out. I told them they couldn't put the record out because there's a flip in the bridge where it talks about not wanting to be saved, because if you had to choose between an addiction or setting the addiction down and picking up a Bible, it's a whole lot easier to just keep going with the addiction. It's a whole lot easier. And so like it's that thought of going through, but there was never any hope, and I was like, I can't put out a song without hope. And the bridge and the final chorus in the song where it completely flips on its head, I wrote it down in 2.5 minutes. It kind of fell. I just as fast as it could come out. And so every time I hear the record, and for a long time I couldn't listen to the record. And every time I hear the record, I'm just like, it's kind of that testament of songs are given, not written. And like everything's gonna, play out exactly. I posted one video, it did like 1 million views in like a couple days, and I literally just posted the wavelength. I screen recorded the wavelength, posted that, and it blew up the song.
And it's amazing with social media. And like, social media. Was it on Instagram or TikTok or
TikTok?
You were reluctant to get on TikTok.
I was. Priscilla Block got me on TikTok.
Yeah.
I remember people talking about YouTube in the same sense. Back in the day, it was, all these kids are coming out with these YouTube videos and they're blowing up, and they're getting record deals because of YouTube.
For sure.
I mean, I think Justin Bieber was like a YouTube sensation. There's these people that have that on, and then what's crazy is then it was a little bit of Instagram, and then when TikTok came, it's the new thing of, it's a great way to get found for people, and it's a great tool in all honesty. But hey, at the end of the day, TikTok artist, get found on TikTok, YouTube, you got to still get up on stage and prove yourself.
Still got to get on stage and sing it every night.
And songwrite, and it's only a stepping stone to get you to that point.
It is. It gets you kind of that base layer. But then, it's still, just like it was, and, everybody complains about it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the ones that work the hardest and the ones that's meant to make it will make it. Whether TikTok or not, like the ones that's meant to make it will make it.
For sure.
And so, yeah, I was fortunate enough to use it as kind of that stepping stone.
Whether you got found in a bar, whether you DM'd somebody and happened to see it, whether you got found on TikTok, you're the one that still has to,
you still got to put the work in.
Happen.
Yeah, you still got to put the work in.
If you were, on an airplane, jumping out, going to a deserted island for the rest of your life, what are the 5 albums that you're going to listen to the rest of your life?
Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know. 5 albums. I'm gonna do artist. I do 5 artists. Can I do 5 artists?
If not, you can follow up and send me what you think the albums are, and give you time to think. But I think it's a good exercise. If you want to say artist, go artist.
I'm trying to think. Artist would definitely be. There would be Merle Haggard. Would definitely be. Keith Whitley would be in there. George Strait would be in there. Marty Robbins would probably be in there.
Okay.
And then probably Johnny Horton would probably be the 5th one.
Wow.
That would probably be my five artists. But I'm trying to think of my favorite record because I loved so many of them from all of them. I probably can't.
It's tough, dude. When I go through the exercise for me, what I listen to every day, what I listen to every day does not reflect my top 5. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy how. So, for instance, it's very popular right now. Oasis is one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
Now that they're coming back out and the brothers are together.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, it's always been Oasis live at Wembley. But I also love Counting Crows. And I also love, Matchbox 20.
I've been on a Sexy Red kick. Man.
So again, it's just so different.
Yeah.
People's personalities of what you like and what I don't know. What are you gonna listen to? I love this album right now.
Yeah,
I love this. But what's crazy is 4 months from now, it's not gonna be what I'm listening to over and over and over again.
I'll listen to the album, new albums. I listen to it for a week straight, and then I set it down.
Yeah.
I will say that Dangerous album might have to come to the island with me.
Yeah, and again, you go some of those where you're like, man, I love this.
That
so
first
much now.
Taylor Swift record was great. I'm throwing it out there. That first Taylor Swift record was great.
definitely could be a top 7. And that's where even I feel there's ones where I'm like, dude, I I mean, if I got to listen to the same shit over and over and over for the rest of my life, I might have to throw this in the bag too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a definitely artist I could come up with. I could definitely go those 5. I could probably go and listen to those 5.
It's a lot of classic country type of influences.
I love old country.
Yeah.
But then I grew up with a mom. You know, my mom's 40, and she grew up kind of on that, you know, Matchbox 20.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, Three Doors Down,
Yeah.
and like everything.
That's my era. Yeah.
You know, she is a big fan of that. So I grew up with that. And then my dad.
Your mom's got great taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my dad, you know, he was a big
Probably
90s
about my
country
age.
fan.
Well, dude, I listened to AM radio for the longest time.
Yeah.
The guy I worked with, 1290 Classic Country AM was here, and I loved listening to, you know, those stations. But for me, I mean, yeah, I love Johnny Cash, and I love Merle Haggard.
Mm-hmm.
I love some of those, but for me, it never really fell on what would be my top 5 necessarily.
sure.
But yeah, everybody. It's just so funny that when you do the test, what really sticks, you're like, man, if I have to get rid of all these other things, it's like the shirts in your closet.
Yeah.
Man, I love that shirt. I love that shirt. But if you're telling me I have to get rid of everything, I'm for sure taking these.
Yeah, for sure. For
And
sure.
you just go right back to your old favorites.
Yeah.
Every time.
But yeah, it'd probably be a lot of classic country for sure. I don't know, but then I think about it more, and I could sit and think about it all day. Like, should I take George Strait, and then should I take
I hope this eats
Nelly
you for the next
I was
week.
going to, because now I'm like, should I take like a Three Doors Down record, and then should I take a
Do you add variety? See, that's the other part.
See,
do you
now-
go a 90s thing? Do you do classic country, a little hip hop?
That's where
You
I'm
throw
saying.
in-
Yeah.
Do you throw like
taste in there.
Do you throw like that One City High album they had that
What
was
if you
great
just go
into the
batshit
mix?
crazy
Like,
that the only thing you brought was classic country and you
Oh,
didn't
it-
bring a
it-
hip hop? You
you
didn't
know,
bring a
like-
newer one. You didn't bring Taylor Swift. You'll never hear Taylor Swift's voice again, ever.
yeah, I mean, like, it's hard. I mean, you could throw a little Goo Goo Dolls here.
There you go.
You could throw like Keith Whitley here,
Right?
Morgan Wallen there.
Because you're going to be
Yeah.
going through some ups and downs on this island.
Oh,
so.
for sure. You're definitely gonna feel all the emotions at some point.
So my last question, and it's a very serious question.
I love
very
them.
very
It's my
serious
favorite.
question. And I want to bring up the '90s rap
Sure.
mashup.
Sure.
And my question is that one of the, if not the greatest, '90s rap song that came out August 22nd, 1990. Just happened to know that off the top of my head. Didn't make the cut.
Uh-oh.
And I'm wondering, Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby,
Yeah.
just didn't make the '90s
Didn't make the
rap
90s rap.
mashup cut.
So I grew up, I mean, I was an 04 baby.
Yeah.
So I didn't even make the 90s. So
You hardly made the 2000s.
yeah. So my 90s rap influence was my dad.
Yeah.
You know what he was a big fan of, and he was a big Nelly fan, and big Nelly fan, a big Master P guy. He was a huge Master P guy. But kind of hearing those influences. But I always liked the song. I could probably sing every word of that song.
I could.
I come up with that whole 90s rap mashup in like 20 minutes in my bedroom one night.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I actually, it's a good point.
We
I'm gonna have to make a
didn't
part
even-
two.
We didn't even touch on the mashup part, and I know we'll wrap up here. But the have you seen Cooper Allen
Oh, for sure.
with his stuff? So
It's
he
amazing.
came here, and again, another person where we're kind of like, I don't know, this thing. I mean, he does really great, and I don't really know a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
I know he does his TikTok stuff, and he crushed it here.
He's great.
Crushed it, and
He's so
then
good.
pulls 3 different people to throw out random shit, and he mashes it up on stage right there, and it blew my mind.
Now
And then
that's
he-
cool. Don't
and then-
ask me to do that
And then,
tonight.
and then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the crowd.
Yeah, don't ask me to do that tonight.
No,
Vanilla
but-
Ice.
and then he came to the festival, and again, he just killed the festival. And yeah, great dude. But that was another mashup person where, I mean,
Yeah.
to do that is pretty cool.
For
what made
sure.
you want to do that? Like, how'd that come about?
I watched a video of Riley Green, and he put, I want to be a baller, shotgun, and then Colt 45,
Yeah.
and then Last Dance of Mary Jane into like a 3-song mashup on a
Okay.
radio show. And I was
never seen
like,
this.
what if I had like a whole like full length song to play at these cover gigs I was playing? I think it would go over great. And like most of the people at these cover gigs were like 90s kids.
And they love that shit.
Oh, they
absolutely.
ate
Eat
it
that shit
up.
up.
They ate it up.
Absolutely.
I played that for years before we decided to put it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I say years, like a year.
You were 12.
Felt like years.
I played it my entire 20s.
I played it through high school. Like, because most kids mowed your ass or something like that
Yeah.
through school. I just play gigs on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, get my $150 for my couple hours. And
Yeah.
said, felt like I had a bunch of money.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of it's kind of that one. So it was a fun one.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And well, we just want to take the time and thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks
for having me, man.
for joining us. Tailgate Beers, Austin Williams. He's here at Cruisin's tonight.
For sure.
And looking forward to it. It's
gonna be
From the
fun.
sound check, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be a lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of fun. It's going to be fun.
So
I'm glad it's here tonight. First headline
Yep.
of the tour.
yeah,
First headline show, first
Dude.
headline tour.
been a pleasure.
Yep.
Thank
guys.
you.
Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All